Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 19th of March. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
And Gary, we are filming today at number 61 Teak Street, right in the heart of Caulfield South. Walking distance to some great cafes, delis, Princess Park, what a great position. But let's talk more about that later. Let's talk about the weekend that was. And before we get on to the auction results, Gary, let's talk about the fact that it was Grand Prix weekend in Melbourne. And what a great Grand Prix it was, I've got to tell you. I just was in awe of those drivers that drove around Albert Park Lake and did it pretty quickly too. And the winner, of course, was...
I was just about to ask you, who won it? Because you're the authority now, so who won it?
The Raikkonen. Even the cameraman is telling us.
You got no idea, do you?
What was it again? Raikkonen. A Finnish guy, and he finished first.
He finished first. If you're going to be Finnish, you might as well be the first to finish.
Okay, well that was pretty big, and it was a pretty big weekend in Melbourne. Shame about the weather for the Grand Prix, given the fact that we'd had this 2 weeks of massive sunshine, and then of course it rains on the
parade,
the Grand Prix parade. Anyway, it's over and done with, done and dusted for another year, I beg your pardon. So let's talk about the weekend that was, Gary. What a magnificent weekend at Gary Peer & Associates. Big weekend for the industry with a 67% clearance rate, which I need to say is a good clearance rate.
It is.
But at Gary Peer & Associates, we smashed the industry clearance rate because we were there at 76% versus 67%.
76.2% I think it was for Ashley, who likes to check us out, and our clearances, but 16 out of 21, so someone can get a calculator out and check it out. But a big weekend. Some of the properties we talked about, we're going to actually wrap up now. One of those, we can't talk about the price, but what a great auction we had in Clonard Street, or Clonard Avenue, Elston.
The price, Gary, because that was an interesting auction. That was a house, lovely period home on the north side. There was a house half an hour before us sold on the south side. Bigger block of land than ours. We had a better house. They had a bigger block of land. I think that sold for $960 something or other. And
we sold for a hell of a lot more.
We did sell it well into
hell of a lot more than that.
A significantly higher number that will remain
undisclosed. After that, Phil, I was off to Mimosa.
Four bidders, by the way, there. There
were four bidders. We're doing well in Elston, aren't we? We continue to. We do all right in Carnegie as well, because I was off doing the auction in Mimosa Road, Philip. This was Unit 1 at 61 Mimosa Road. The first time that property's been offered since it was built, Phil.
When was it built?
It was built, I think, in the 70s.
Okay,
in fact,
I'm
almost sure
really?
it is a long time. But that auction was interesting because we actually had someone that bought it that just came on the day. And that can happen on auction.
Let's talk about that for a moment, because
not for too long,
a lot of vendors and buyers think that the auction process is all about the campaign. It's amazing how many auctions that we have in all price ranges, whether it be a 2-bedroom apartment or a house for $2 to $3 million. We sell consistently a high proportion, well not a high proportion, but 5 to 10% of our properties get sold to people that arrive on the day of the auction and actually buy it. So the auction campaign is about all of the Saturdays and all of the Sundays and all of the midweeks, but sometimes the buyer just hops out of their car on auction day, puts up their hand, buys the property.
And there you go.
It's pretty amazing.
And in Fulton Street, which we sold on Saturday in the afternoon for $600,000, the buyer, I think, came the day before, or just around that day. So that's what can happen with auction. Another good reason to go to auction, ladies and gentlemen, if you think of selling.
Gary.
It does. Tell us about that sale of yours, Philip. Is it Bialaba Road?
What a great result that was.
It's a bumper, wasn't it?
Gary, we ran that with a quote range of $950,000 to $1,050,000. The vendor was always hoping to be around that $1,050,000 mark. We had an auction that just absolutely flew from the word go, and we put the property on the market and we sold it for $1,270,000.
Great price.
Which is a really solid price. Bialaba Road's obviously a very good street, and this was on the north side, but it was a 60s house that was in original condition, complete with bright orange kitchens, which I believe are coming back.
They're back in a big way.
And just a sensational result.
I was on Sunday at 22 Alder Street in Caulfield South,
that
not far away.
Well.
It did go well. We thought it was going to. The reserve was $750, and it actually sold for $851,000. We had 4 bidders, I think 4 or 5 bidders. Went very, very well. Interesting auction, Phil, because we got to the reserve. We actually got to $750 outside, and then the rain came, so we had to stop the auction, run on inside, and resume it. And lo and behold, $100,000 later, a little bit more, the property sold. So a big weekend.
And that was listed by Leon Gusenfitter, who is a really good operator and one of his star listings for the month.
Yeah, and you're very nice giving him a rap like that, aren't you?
I would.
And interestingly, Philip, the vendors at 22 Order Street have been there for 55 years, Phil.
55 years, that's terrible, Gary. You know, we want people moving every 6 or 7 years.
Why wait that long? Every year, 2 years, 3 years, just keep on selling it.
But 54 years, I mean, she's really cost the industry about 7 or 8 sales there. So, you know, some people just don't care about us poor, lonely, starving real estate agents.
It's not fair, is it, staying that long in a house? Anyway, it was a good auction. Let's talk about Hudson Street, Phil. That was a big one. The price is undisclosed, but a big sale late on Sunday afternoon. That's a property with a tennis court and well, really almost two properties.
It was a 1980s house with a swimming pool, tennis court, and whilst the price is undisclosed, we were quoting that in excess of $2 million and sold it well in excess of $2 million.
We did indeed.
And a really nice package. So let's talk about the weekend coming up, Gary. Another big weekend for GPA and a big weekend in Melbourne, because this is the weekend before the Easter weekend, which means there won't be many auctions in Melbourne over Easter. So a lot of agencies like us have got a busy weekend this weekend. So what have you got for me?
I think we've got about 12 or 13 auctions, Philip. We've got one on Saturday morning in Fuller Street, a good address, period home on a good block of land. That one's going up at 10:30. You've got the honours on that one, Philip,
forward to that.
which will be great. One at 56 Narrong Road is going to be auctioned on Saturday at 12:30. That is a terrific 2-bedroom property. Jeremy Rosens has the honours. We're looking forward to seeing you at that one.
And what a great address. I love those streets. Narrong Road, Wanda Road, cutting through from Kooyong through to Hawthorne Road. Good address.
Just around the corner from where we are here, we'll talk about this home in a minute, is one at 66 Armand Street in Caulfield, Southfield. I'm doing that auction on Sunday, bright and early at 10:30 a.m, or early for a late night peer like myself.
Yes.
So looking forward to that one. That's a terrific property. Phil, on Sunday I'm auctioning at 11:30 a unit in Hawthorne Road, one at 189 Hawthorne Road. That's in a pretty good part of Hawthorne Road, isn't it?
Really good spot, just near Cottonhurst Avenue.
Yeah, Einstein's Cafe just opened up.
What a great cafe. Had lunch there actually on Sunday. That's a good 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment owned by a really well-known landscape architect, and he's done a beautiful job with the ground floor courtyard. So look forward to having a look at that, Gary.
Well, I'm looking forward to auctioning it, as I am in Newland Street at 12:30, number 2 at 7 Newland Street, in the heart of Caulfield proper, Philip. And that's a terrific one. We're looking forward to getting to that one and auctioning it on Sunday. Phil, you've got the honours on Sunday of doing perhaps the finest auction of the weekend in terms of quality real estate. That's 13 Findon Avenue, Sunday at 1:30. Tell us about that.
What an incredible house. We did GPTV there a couple of weeks ago. In fact, I think it was last week. But what a fabulous house in a brilliant street, gorgeous block of land, beautiful renovation. That's a real flagship property. So come along and have a look at that, and come along to the auction. We welcome you all there.
Created a lot of interest in the market, that one, Phil. We've got a busy weekend. There's so much going on, but let's talk about where we are right now. 61 Teak Street, Caulfield South. A lovely street. We're just saying how good this street feels.
Yeah, this is a great spot. This is a great spot. I mentioned before at the start, you know, walking distance to cafes in Bamborough Road, Princess Park, the tram in Hawthorne Road, the tram in Glen Huntley Road. This is just a stunning house.
Very unique, isn't it?
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, big entertaining areas, but the most incredible wrap-around parcel of land. The back garden faces north. That deck area is sensational. I can't wait to do the auction here, Gary. I believe I'm doing it.
You are doing it. It's got the rating, I guess, of a semi, but it doesn't feel like a semi. There's nothing semi about it.
Feels like a house.
It is a really spacious home. It's got that sort of Japanese influence. I feel like doing a bit of Tai Chi in the back garden, if I knew what Tai Chi was and how to do it.
And it's a bit of a tropical feel too, Gary. So I think you should do a bit of Tai Chi because you're a bit, I don't know, I find you a bit uptight.
Maybe it's what's missing in my life.
Need a massage or something, Gary.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Why not?
Knock yourself out.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to seeing you at this home in Teak Street. Leo Samuel's handling this, if I'm not mistaken, Philip, and he'll love to see you here. But a beautiful home, and beautiful things going on in the real estate market. There's still plenty of buyers, plenty of offerings. We've got just another week before Easter, and then it just sort of shuts down that weekend in terms of auctions. We're still business as usual. Everything's open for inspection. And then there'll be the next wave of properties, Philip, probably between Easter and June.
And the most incredible thing about this year is that from a real estate calendar perspective, we're now already looking at our June auction, July auction.
So we'll be listing for spring before you know it.
Effectively, scarily enough, half the year from a real estate perspective is gone. So
But you haven't aged, Phil, at all. No, you look terrific.
I'm doing my best. Blueberries and a lot of broccoli is my secret.
That's it.
As opposed to your junk-filled, horrible diet. How you're still here, I have no
Coca-Cola
idea.
and twisties, let's go.
Yeah, and he's not joking either. Anyway, thanks again for watching GPTV. My name's Philip Kingston. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Have a great week.
I'm Gary Pearce. See you next time. Bye.